Hello and welcome to Unwind Sessions, where right after my shift I give the highlights of my workday and answer any questions that might have been asked at the previous session. My name is Juan. I am an English Spanish medical video remote interpreter with over 4 years of experience. Today is Friday, April 23rd, 2021. Today I took a total of 36 sessions, 36 calls, video and phone sessions. It was a mix between them. I couldn't really tell you if I had more than the other. It was a pretty chill day today. Um, not that very, there were not any difficult sessions, and I'm gonna get right to it. So today I learned a new word. I actually didn't learn it. Well, actually did not learn a new word. I actually learned the correct interpretation for a new word, and the word is antiperspirant. And what I said in the session was just the same thing, but in Spanish, antiperspirante. And I actually said that 3 times, but something in the back of my head did not feel right when I was giving that interpretation. And I actually looked it up in the session, and I found out that antiperspirant is actually antitranspirante. And I actually looked up more information on the word, and I actually found out that antiperspirant, antiperspirante, which is the incorrect way to say it, is actually a word that was adopted in Spanish, but it's not the correct word. It is used in Spanish, but it is not a correct word. And remember that we as interpreters, we always have to use the correct use of the language. So, as an interpreter, saying antiperspirante, that would be a big, big no-no. So, just remember antitranspirante. I'm sure going to remember that. And um, there's going to be many situations that you're sure of a word and you are probably going to give the wrong rendition or the wrong translation. And it's okay. I mean, we're human, we're not dictionaries, but um, you are expected to know most words and to actually flow with your interpretation. But I mean, getting a word wrong every once in a while, it's nothing bad. We're human, and if you can fix it, fix the situation, and if it just goes by and it was not very important, just let it go and prepare yourself for the next time. And that's what I do. But if it's very important and you're making a mistake and it's very important and you really do have to fix it, I would say just don't hesitate and just fix it right away. And most most providers, most clients are going to be understanding because I mean we're all people and we all make mistakes. So if this ever happens to you, just what I would advise is just make sure that you learn from it and you work hard to not make that mistake again. So that was pretty much the highlight of today. Like I told you, it was pretty easy session. So there was nothing difficult, pretty straightforward sessions, just interpreting, no new vocabulary, no interest. Well, they're all interesting, but sometimes you just have like regular sessions, just intakes and just things that are kind of boring. But I mean, it's not like we can say no to those sessions, right? So you never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes you might get a boring day. Sometimes you might get a very difficult day, and well, you just have to get your best and get through it, right? So that was the highlight of my day. And I was going to tell you a story today, but instead of actually telling you a story, I actually wanted to leave you today with something that you can learn upon. So I'm going to talk about one thing that really affects us in our profession, and that is anxiety and stress. And as an interpreter, I can tell you that this has affected me firsthand, and it gets bad. In my case, I don't think it gets that bad because I can actually control it. But I have had some colleagues, some workmates that have actually, well, I've actually heard them telling stories of how bad it can really get. Um, First, to let you know about the first time that I ever noticed anxiety affecting me as an interpreter, the first time that I really, really noticed it was when I was going to take the interpreter test for the company that I work for now. Because before they actually hire you, you have to pass the test that they give you, and it's a over the phone test, but with an actual person asking all the questions or grading you on the spot. And just a little background. This job pays double what I was getting at my old job. So, I mean, I really, I was really eager, and I really needed the job. I mean, who doesn't want to earn more money, right? So, I really wanted this job, and I wanted this job so bad, and I was studying all day and all night. It was a medical test, so I was studying my vocabulary day and night. And another thing is that when I heard about this position, they were asking for interpreters with 2 years of um, medical interpretation experience. And at that time, I didn't have my 2 years of being a medical interpreter. I had only been a medical interpreter for about a year and 2 months at that time. So, I mean, I had the knowledge and I had the skills, but I didn't have the time that was required. But I still sent in my resume and they accepted me. And they told me that they weren't really accepting people that had less than 2 years of experience as a medical interpreter, but they were going to give me a chance. And they told me not to blow the test. So I had all that pressure on top of my shoulders, and at the time of the test, I all of a sudden I was so anxious. I was like anxious, like um, I don't know how to describe it, but like my hands were sweating, my face was sweating, and I was feeling that something was not right. And so I there was nothing else I can do. I mean, it was the time to take the test, so I had to do it. And at the time that I took the test, it was first vocabulary, and the first word that they said to me was timpano, which timpano in English is translated as eardrum. Pretty easy word, right? But since I was so stressed out, since I was so anxious, I couldn't remember um, the translation for timpano, for eardrum, to save my life. And I told the lady if she could repeat the word again, and she repeated it. And when she repeated it, I just gave up. I couldn't come up with the word, and I told her, I was like, pass, let's go to the next word. And she told me timpano, and right at that moment, like my a bulb light, a bulb, a big bulb came on in my head, and I was like, oh my God, how did I miss that word? Of course, I know this word. I've used it many times. And I was beating myself up. But what I did at that moment, it was just very fast. Everything was very fast. Of course, I was taking the test. And when I did that, I just told myself, relax. I mean, this is your job. You're taking a test of a job that you're actually doing, so you're going to do okay. This is your chance. So relax. You do this every day, so this is not different from what you do every day. just relax, you got this, trust in your skill. And I took a deep breath and I went ahead with the test, and I actually did pretty good. I did miss some words and some things, some phrases, but I did pretty good, and I actually got hired. I barely got hired though, because the minimum grade that you could get for that test to get hired was 85, and I actually got an 86. But I was very proud of myself because I managed to get over that anxiety that would have torn me up. And if I got an 86 and I was already relaxed, I would have completely, uh, I would have completely blown the test if I had not calmed myself down. And at that moment was when I actually starting uh, taking anxiety into account. Because before that, whenever I would get a difficult session or a session with a lot of new vocabulary, what would happen is that the same thing. I would just start to sweat. My hands would start to sweat. My face would start to sweat. I would start to feel hot, and all of a sudden, I wouldn't hear what the person was saying, and it was just horrible. It was just a horrible feeling. But I I recovered pretty quickly. Like right after I was able to get through that little difficult session or that little difficult episode, then my body just went back to normal. It got out of anxiety state, and I could actually go to the call pretty smoothly without a problem. So anxiety has never really been that much of a problem for me, or stress either. But of course, as a human, as an interpreter, I mean, we are not free from anxiety or stress, and it's actually like a part of our profession. So we're gonna, as interpreters, you're gonna have to deal with anxiety and with stress, and to actually do the best of the situations. And the more you know about yourself, the more you're going to be able to handle these situations in a better way. And the more experience you have, also, the less anxious you're gonna get, because you're already going to have that experience. So you're already going to have those bad moments of anxiety that you've actually been through before. So you actually are going to know when that happens next time. You're going to be a little bit prepared for the next time. And if you're not, I would suggest that you actually do prepare for the next time so that you can actually do better if you ever happen to have an episode of anxiety while interpreting. And how do I prepare? Well, nothing special. I will just say that for me, I would just recommend, just a regular recommendation that they give you for anxiety and stress, which many of you have probably already heard before, many of you probably not. But that is just to keep hydrated, follow a healthy diet, sleep well, and relax during the day. Just take some time for yourself. I know this is more difficult than this is easier said than done, I should say, because of course we're in a society or now where we live. I mean, everything is just so fast, and we don't have time for anything. And if you're take care of a family, or you have a very busy schedule, it's almost impossible to take time for yourself. And I've been there, and I feel you. But honestly, if you only take like about 10, 15 minutes every day just for yourself, like just put everything on hold, and just those 10 minutes do something that you really, really love, whatever it is. And that will get you a long way, because even though it's just a little bit amount of time, that little bit amount of time just takes your head off of everything, and this is going to be hard to master. But once you implement this like every day, just set a timer and put an alarm like 8 o'clock is my 10 minutes, and leave me alone. Turn off your phone, and for those 10 minutes, just spend them on yourself. You could be doing anything. Just make sure that it's something relaxing. Maybe pick up a book, read 10 minutes, or just listen to some music, close your eyes. Whatever it is that will actually distract you from everything that you are doing and from your busy life, just take 10 minutes of yourself, and I promise you, this is going to be worth it. And another thing is that if you could make it a routine to actually unwind at the end of the day, what I mean unwind at the end of the day, like do something for your enjoyment, or something that is not uh, something that is not like you have to do it, something that is not very demanding, something that is not a priority, something that you must get done, something from your work. Like, just what I do is the last 2 hours of my day, I actually watch some Netflix, or I play some video games, and that helps me relax. Sometimes I listen to music as well. I just put on my headphones and I lay down and I just relax, listen to music, or watch movies, or play some video games. Those are the top three things to do at the end of my day, because they just reset me, and they get all of those things off of my head, and they allow me to go to sleep and actually wake up ready for the next day. Of course, sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes your schedule is so filled up that, or my schedule, I should say, is so filled up that sometimes, I mean, I go to sleep working, and it's not that frequent, because I should actually work hard to not have that, so that the last 2 hours of my day I can actually do something like read some nonfiction, watch some fiction, read some fiction, or whatever, just something that gets my head busy, and that is distracts me from my busy day. So, um, well, like, and in addition to that would be the cliche of work hard, play harder, which I think it makes a lot of sense, because if you're working hard, and as an interpreter, I mean, people don't really realize this, but it's still a very stressful job, because, or not stressful. I shouldn't say stressful. It's like a very demanding job, because your mind requires you to be there at all times. So you're using your mind. I don't know if more than other professions. I couldn't say, because I mean I I haven't really have that many professions. But like, since this is not this is not a physical job, this is just a mental job. Your mind is going to get worn out, whether you like it or not. And if you work too much, you're going to get burned out, and that burnout is going to carry on. If you burn out and you burn out, there's going to be a moment where you're just not going to give your best, and you're not going to be able to give your best interpretation. And well, your job is actually to take care of yourself as well. Take care of your health, take care of your physical, mental health. Spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, and just relax, live a little. That's my recommendation to you into how to deal with stress and anxiety that happens during the job. Another thing that I would like to add is that I know it's difficult to just put your mind, leave your stress at home, right? Uh, it's hard, and I get it, and it's hard for me to do it sometimes. I mean, of course, if something is very, very stressful and it's just there, you're not going to take your mind off of it, right? Because if it's a priority, you're going to be thinking and overthinking, and you're just gonna be there. But uh, my suggestion to you is do your best, and concentrate on the interpreting. I have noticed sometimes, um, I say sometimes because sometimes it doesn't work. Whenever I'm stressed out about something or just overthinking a situation and I'm working, of course the thoughts just creep into my head. But I have noticed that if I really just concentrate on what the person is saying and nothing else, I just block everything from my mind. When you're in the zone, and that's the best time that you're going to interpret. And if it's only just for one sentence that you can actually get that while you're stressed, I mean, that's really going to help you because that's going to ease your mind, and that is going to help you to actually concentrate on the rest of the sessions. Maybe every once in a while you get the creeping thought in your head about what's stressing you out, but uh, um, I mean, you just have to do your best, and I mean, you're gonna know yourself better. And one thing that I would suggest is that you actually be conscious of what happens whenever you feel anxious or whenever you're feeling stressed out and interpreting, and remember your reaction. If you're a person that gets a lot of anxiety attacks or is very nervous or is very stressful, I would suggest that whenever you have an anxiety attack or during an anxiety episode, during a session or a stressful session, that you keep a journal and you actually write down what you felt, why you felt it, and all of that. And I believe that that is going to make you more conscious about what is triggering the anxiety and how your body reacts to anxiety, and you can actually come up with like things that could actually help you for next time. And next time you can try them, and if you forget because you're so anxious, then um, don't fret, because there will always be a next time, and you can always work next time and next time. But the thing is that you actually have a plan. You actually have a plan for whenever this happens, that you actually know what to do, and you know how to get out of that anxiety episode so that you can actually do a better job. Just to recap, uh, as interpreters, there's going to be times where we are going to be anxious or we are going to be stressed, and just because we're human, right? It's part of being a human. Anxiety and stress is just our response to situations, fight or flight, right? So, number one, be conscious of what triggers your anxiety and the reaction your body has to anxiety, and prepare for next time so that you actually have a plan to actually work and to improve and to reduce the anxiety that you have every time that you actually do have it. And just keep hydrated, eat healthy, sleep well, relax, take time for yourself, unwind at the end of the day, and remember that if you're already working as an interpreter, I mean, you're doing a great job. So if you're still getting anxious, you just have to work a little bit extra, but it will get better. And one last thing, if you really have a lot of anxiety or a lot of stress, I would suggest actually visiting a doctor, which could help you, because if it's too bad, maybe my suggestions are going to help, but maybe you will also require professional help. So if this becomes a problem, I would say go ahead and seek professional help. And but if it just smiles like what I have, go ahead and follow my recommendations. See if it helps, and if they don't, well, just ask around, look up, Google search, or seek professional help, and it will get better. I mean, with more experience, the more experience you have, the less frequent that these episodes are going to happen. Um, I know I said that was a recap, but I just thought about something. Frequently, right now, what happens whenever I'm sorry about that. Whenever I get an anxiety episode now, I'm pretty sure I didn't mention this before, but I no longer block myself. What happens is, yes, I start to sweat and I start to get hot, and my face starts to sweat, but my hands, they do feel warm as well. But I am in control of the situation. Like, I can actually listen. I can actually just type or look for the word or actually remember everything. So I still get anxiety. I'm not free from it, but I have managed to control it now that it is not a problem, and I can actually get out of it pretty fast as long as it's an interpretation related thing, right? So that will be pretty much it for me tonight. Um, I hope I was able to help. Like I mentioned, I was going to give you a story, but I decided to actually talk about something that you can actually find useful and something that is relevant to working as an interpreter. So that will be it for me today. Please leave your questions and comments, and I will answer some of them on the next session. Remember that I'll be here every Monday through Friday after work. If I happen to not work a day, I will let you know beforehand so you don't expect an unwind session. And that will be pretty much it. I will see you next Monday. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video and have not done so for more content. And don't forget to share. Happy interpreting. Goodbye.